Take a look at brand new video just into the Fox 5 newsroom tonight. Burning fuel, sending flames and heavy smoke from the wreckage of a small plane. The aircraft crashing on I-285 about 10 o'clock this morning. They are stunning images sent to Fox 5 by viewer Mirsad Hodo. He was on the interstate when that plane fell out of the sky in DeKalb County. Fox 5 has complete coverage of this breaking news tonight. 7 hours after that awful tragedy, we are still seeing the impact on the evening rush hour.
Now, we're going to get a report from the roads in just a moment, but first, what we know about this deadly plane crash. Now, the plane came down right at 285 and Peachtree Industrial Boulevard. Incredibly, it did not directly hit any cars on the road.
There were four people on board this Piper PA-32 plane, 3 men and 1 woman. All of them were killed.
Now, that plane crashed shortly after takeoff from Peachtree DeKalb Airport. It only went 1 mile before crashing, and the wreckage of that plane has been moved to Griffin, where the NTSB will work to find out what caused the crash. Fox
5 has live team coverage tonight of this breaking news. Several crews are standing by right now. We'll begin with Fox 5's Nicole Estefan live in DeKalb County tonight. Nicole, what have you learned about the crash and the people who were on board that plane?
Well, I want to show you first what's left here. You can see on the median behind me, you can see the burn mark from where that plane hit. Now, we want to talk to you about what the NTSB is saying at this point. You did mention the timing. It was 10:10 a.m. when that PA-32 plane took off from Peachtree DeKalb Airport. Less than a minute into that flight, we know that something went terribly wrong. The plane, of course, ending up crashing here on 285. All 4 people on board were killed. The NTSB says they have no idea what caused this crash at this time, but they have taken that wreckage to Griffin to reconstruct what may have happened. Let's talk about the victims here. I want to show you one of them, the pilot. That was Greg Bird. He was a deputy with the Buncombe County, North Carolina Sheriff's Office. That's near Asheville. He served with them for 16 years before becoming a reserve deputy. The two other men are Greg's sons, Christopher Bird among them, and Christopher's fiancee, Jackie Kulzer. We do know that that plane was headed to Mississippi. Now, we received a statement from the principal of St. Pius Catholic High School. That's where Jackie attended. They told us, quote, Jackie is remembered as a wonderful young lady, a very popular, energetic, outgoing individual that was always concerned about others. The thoughts and prayers of the St. Pius family go out to the entire Kulzer family at this time. Now, Jackie also worked for the accounting firm BDO here in downtown Atlanta. The company tells me their employees are in shock, and they're just trying to deal with this tragedy at this time, that she was a valued member of the team. We are live here in Doraville. Back to you.
Yeah, so sad all around. Nicole, thank you very much. As we told you at the top of the hour, somehow that plane crashed down onto one of our busiest interstates and not directly hitting any single car down there. But
several cars that were in the area when that plane crashed were hit with debris, and that caused a very dangerous condition for drivers. Let's continue our team coverage now with Fox 5's Chris Shaw.
Chris, you've been on the scene since the beginning this morning and have spoken to a lot of shaken up drivers tonight.
Yeah, that's right, Tom, especially the drivers who actually stopped after the crash and got out of their cars to try and help. Those folks saw something that was just horrific. As one man put it, a busy interstate in metro Atlanta is the last place he'd ever thought he'd see a plane crash. The airplane's twisted and smoldering wreckage gives you some idea how awful this was. But to truly feel the horror of being on this interstate, listen to the people who were there.
And I seen a plane just flying extremely low.
And he kind of looked like he turned and he was like waving back and forth.
Part of it went across the front of my truck, across the windshield and the hood.
And hit the median and just exploded.
That quickly, chaos interrupted the late morning commute. Truck driver Gerald Smith says part of the plane actually nicked his rig in the eastbound lane as it was coming down.
I pulled the air brakes and I got out and I looked to my left and the plane was up against the wall burning.
Like many, his first instinct was to try and help.
So we stopped and I immediately ran out and tried to run over, and I mean, of course, it was engulfed in flames and there was nothing you could do, but they couldn't get out.
Like Carruthers, other witnesses describe a feeling of total helplessness as they watched flames quickly take over the entire airplane. In the hours that followed, they began to wonder, how did that airplane miss every single car on 285?
I mean, it was just amazing that nobody else got hurt.
Doraville Mayor Donna Pittman called it a sheer miracle.
I got back in the truck and just sat there, just saying, God, I thank you.
Now that feeling of seeing something so awful but being thankful that your life was spared is a strong emotion. Needless to say, we saw quite a few tears out here on the interstate today. Reporting live in Doraville, Chris Shaw, Fox 5 News.
All right, thank you, Chris. And as we can see there from those images just a short while ago, all of the lanes of 285 reopened. They were either shut down completely or partially for hours after that 10 a.m. crash, and that caused major traffic backups. Now, we have a live picture to show you from Sky Fox 5 tonight. You can see the lanes are moving, traffic going through that area. Let's continue our team coverage now with Angelique Proctor, who is live at the crash scene.
Angelique, what does the traffic situation look like on the ground there?
You know, right now, Tom, amazingly, everything is fine. 200,000 people use this top-end perimeter every day. And I want you to take a look behind me now. You can see how smoothly traffic is flowing. The eastbound side that we're on actually opened up around 3 o'clock, the westbound side at 1 o'clock. But take a look at the pictures from earlier today, shortly after this plane went down. Sky Fox 5 was overhead when traffic literally stopped both ways. The interstate was shut down. Now, some motorists sat for hours as the NTSB and police did their work. We talked to a stranded driver who said that police had to back him off the interstate once the plane crashed.
It was at least an hour and a half, and partially because I was right up on the accident scene and they had to bag us out and let us out on Peachtree Industrial. It seemed like I was in a movie, you know, no doubt about it.
Now, many drivers who witnessed the crash still can't believe what they saw. Again, Georgia DOT telling me that they actually opened the interstate faster than they imagined, and they said they believe things are running smoothly because drivers heeded the warning and stayed out of this area. Reporting live from DeKalb County, Angelique Proctor, Fox 5 News.
A surreal experience, I'm sure, for many of the drivers out there today. Angelique, thank you. Apart from the traffic around that scene, that this crash is causing backups in other parts of town because drivers are trying to avoid that area.
Now let's take you over to Fox 5 anchor Lisa Rayam, who has a look at Sky Fox traffic for us. Lisa.
Yes, Sine and Tom, it was a mess this morning. It was a really tough commute for many in Metro Atlanta who were on the roads around 10 o'clock this morning. However, traffic is faring much better than it was earlier this afternoon. You can expect some congestion on your surface streets around the Northeast Corridor. You'll also face some lingering delays on I-85 and the East Side Perimeter. It's a 20-minute drive on I-85 from the junction to 316. Delays on the East Side Perimeter begin around Chamblee-Tucker and continue to Memorial Drive. And here's a look at the situation on the downtown connector. This is through our DOT camera. This was an alternate many were taking earlier today. Right now, you're facing just a 50-minute drive between Brookwood and Langford Parkway. Sine?
All right, Lisa. Well, right now, the NTSB is examining the wreckage of that plane. They are trying to determine why exactly it crashed.
Tonight, we're getting more information about that plane from pilots at PDK. Let's go live to Nathalie Pozo with News Radio 106.7 tonight.
And Nathalie, what have you been able to find out this evening?
Well, Sine, Tom, I can tell you that I spoke with a pilot earlier today who tells me it's going to be months before the NTSB can determine exactly what happened. Now, flights have been coming in and out here at Peachtree DeKalb Airport all day long. We do know that that plane stopped here, refueled and picked up some passengers, hit the runway, and only a mile after taking off, crashed onto 285.
Tragic, and I just send my condolences to the family and all the victims that were involved.
The tragic plane accident that killed 4 people was the talk among people at the Peachtree DeKalb Airport Friday.
All the pilots here and everybody in the general aviation community is saddened by the events of today, and we extend our condolences.
Jonathan Sweetman has been a pilot for 20 years. He tells me the Piper PA-32 is similar to this plane but bigger, can hold up to 6 passengers, and is a high-performance plane.
An aircraft such as this, generally speaking, would have the capacity to go from North Carolina to Mississippi. I would suspect that the stop here had more to do with dropping off or picking up passengers than it would to do with refueling.
Sweetman says the NTSB will look into a number of factors to determine what caused the crash, but it will be months before they make their conclusion.
The NTSB will be looking into performance of the aircraft, mechanical issues with the aircraft. Was the mechanical integrity what it should be? They will look into weather. They will look into pilot experience and pilot history.
And I asked that pilot today if the plane that crashed maybe had a black box like commercial planes do. He told me definitely not a cockpit, data voice recorder. And as for the flight data recorder, chances are not likely that anything was recorded on that plane. Reporting live at the Peachtree DeKalb Airport, Nathalie Pozo, News Radio 106.7 for Fox 5 News.
Still a lot of information to sort out here. Thank you very much. Please stay with Fox 5 for continuing coverage of this story. We're going to continue to monitor the situation on our roads during rush hour this evening. More live reports are ahead in this hour, and instant information is being posted to myfoxatlanta.com.